Alright, I just picked up these two Waverunners the other day. So, I paid $400 for the two of them. I didn't get much of a story with them. The guy just kind of said this was the better of the two. And this is the one I'm more interested in anyway. I really like the style of this thing. And I've heard these are very reliable. So, they've been sitting for a while, but not too long. This one was last registered in 15, that one's 16. So that means they were running at least 6 years ago, and neither one of them are seized up. So let's see if we can get them running again. Alright, so this thing's looking nice after pressure washing it. So let's try to get this to start. But the first thing that's jumping out at me as a problem, one of the previous owners for some reason must have thought zip ties were a good way to hold the muffler on. So let's see what's going on with that. Well, I guess I see why they did that. Everything. All right. See if we can get those bolts out of there. Look at that, first try. That's cool. And I want to thank someone, when I always used to do this, I would weld a nut over it. Someone suggested in the comments, like, oh, weld a washer first, because it's easier to weld the washer than weld the nut to the washer. So whoever said that, thanks, because that worked. All right. A cheap way to get bolts for these things, because if you went to a bolt store to get some metric stainless bolts, it'd probably be $1 million each. Go on eBay and just type in Waverunner bolts, and I got all the used bolts out of some junk Waverunners someone was taking apart. So I got a big bag of metric stainless bolts for like 20 bucks. I probably need 2 more of those. Alright, it's important that these are tight, because if these are loose, the thing will be leaking water at full throttle and you won't notice it, and the jet ski will be filling up with water and you'll be wondering where the water's coming from. Alright. Alright, that's fixed. Let's try to start this thing. I bet you this is gonna run. I don't think I'm gonna have to do anything to this. Oh, it looks like gas. I just got this battery pump. Someone said to get it. It was cheap too. It's nice, this one's oil injected. You just put straight gas in it. We got a couple missing bolts here, but luckily I had them in that bag of bolts. Let's get this sharp thing off of here. That's a choke right there, right? It's a new lever. Alright, well that was easy. This thing runs good. Hooked up the power and it just clicks. Alright, so the starter motor's not working. I think because it's broken off the engine. Alright, let's figure out what's happening under there. Does the engine turn on this thing? Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, alright, it's not seized up. Just the starter's laying in the bottom. Should I take this exhaust off? No. It's too hard to get to the starter with this in the way. Alright, well, here's the starter. Well, that ain't good. That ain't good either. Alright, here's like that. Alright, that was there. Alright, so we got a few things going on here. So here's a piece of the starter broken off in there. Alright, so here's one of the starter ears right here, broken, but at least that's... Oh, is that part of the engine? Oh. I can't see it from where I am. I think you can. This is the other starter mount, which is now a hole in the engine. This needs a lower end. Okay. Well, this engine's got to come out. All right, so this is where we're at on this thing here. This engine kind of had a pretty big failure where the, it looks like a connecting rod or pin in there. You can see the piston right there is broken in a half, and it, blew the side of the engine case out. So this engine needs to be replaced. The other issue we have here is with this choke. This lever is broken, and this cable, it moves, but it's like impossible to move. So I got a new old stock choke cable. All right, see how easy this one moves? Okay, yeah, see, this moves fine. All right, so this new choke cable, I'm noticing it's way too long. The ends are the same, but it's just way too long. My old one, though, it's actually not seized. Just this is seized up. Let me try to break this loose. And this piece here. Oh, you know what? Here's the issue. It's got a flat side that's supposed to be against the flat side. It was just twisted wrong. Okay, this is all fine. This can go back together. And it only goes in the one way. I mean, it goes in anyway, but then it doesn't pull. Yeah, right there. See? This is what it had for the choke lever. Where'd that? All right, that works. All right, brand new battery. At least that battery's easy to get to. This thing runs good. All right, cool. What else? What's left? All right, this one's good to go. Let's get back to work on this one. I got some parts for it. That screw was loose. All right, so since this original engine is no good with this big hole in it, I just ordered a used replacement engine. This one's supposed to run, so hopefully it fits. What is this one? This is a J700F 62T. We got a J700L 63N. Well, let's see if it fits. It's supposed to. All right, so we got to transfer some parts from this engine onto this one. Definitely those carburetors and that. Well, let's get started. Anything wrong with this? That looks good. Got a new starter. That old one broke when the engine blew up. This out with this exhaust manifold off. There's a really good view of these pistons. All right. Look at all the metal particles. I gotta get that really clean. Alright, so I thought I was done with this. Here's one more thing I just noticed is different. This, I need to put that on there. They're different. Oh. And that I fell at the bottom of the engine. There we go. I get it? I think I got it. But now keeping this one from turning, how do I do that? I think if I just stick some string in here. All right, let's give that a try. Not go crazy on it. There it goes. The threads are nice on this one. You know, I was gonna mess with this, but this is just a diaphragm carburetor. There's no bowl on it to even get dirty. I'm just throw it on there and see if it runs. That's how it was set, right in the center like that. So put it right where it was. I'm trying to put this in here with more stuff on it. When I took it off, I had this off of it. Yeah, that's how you do it. All right, I got most of the stuff hooked up. Fuel lines are hooked up. All the motor mounts are bolted on. Oil injection's hooked up. Starter's hooked up. The ground is hooked up. All right, here's the last thing. All right, let's try to start it up. Let me see what we got in here for gas. Some fresh gas in this. That looks like gas. All right, we'll pump as much out as we can and put some fresh gas in and try to start it. You know what? Look at that. Well, that ain't bad. Throw a little two-stroke in there. Choke. Should have done something. All right, well, the thing seems like it's good. It's starting super easy. All right, needs a few more little things to it, and then let's take it out in the water. And I need a trailer. All right, let's do something about this. I almost fiberglassed this, but is this the same? Yeah, it's the same part. I need this latch for the new one. I've been messing with these screws. It's like twisting that screwdriver. I don't want to strip them out. I got an idea. There, now I can actually get on them. All right, let's do something about this. All right, that looks good enough. Got a new battery. All right, so I needed a trailer for those two Waverunners. So I go looking on Marketplace for trailers, and then it's like, I'm seeing better deals on jet skis with trailers than just plain trailers. So I ended up coming home with a trailer, but it doesn't quite solve my needing a trailer problem because there's two jet skis on this. And these things, so I paid $900 for this, and these two run. I don't even have to do that much to them. I mean, they need a little attention, but nothing crazy. All right, so let's get these two cleaned up and throw those other ones on a trailer and go test them out. All right, so now I have 8 Waverunners, so I should probably stop looking at Marketplace. throws water at you, huh?
Yeah, a lot of water.
This thing's way faster than that.
I could, like, off the line, you were gone, and then I just barely fit by.
Yeah, but I was also not going full throttle. Oh, I guess I'm going for that. Where are we going?
Okay. You don't think you can flip that back over?
It's like super heavy.
Yeah. You don't think you can flip it over? It's probably gonna be hard to start.
You can't flip it over, it's way too heavy.
Yeah. Alright, so the Tiger Shark just died on us. And now the Waverunner 3 decided to fill up with water, so of course the sheriff thinks it's interesting, so right? That's pretty funny, like we're towing one and the other one's upside down. And the sheriff's like looking at us like nothing to see here. It's gonna be hard to get this started again.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get it. All right, so she's filling up with water. It was what before too when we got it empty, and we thought it was a loose exhaust clamp, but we gotta figure it out. It's taking on water somehow. Oh, this is a triple in this thing?
Yeah.
And no wonder it blew up.
Yeah, I knew it was coming. It's a little tight.
Andrew Armstrong's meeting us.
I don't know if we're gonna be going anywhere now.
Whoa, we still got. No, I think the Waverunner through will be alright.
Should probably figure out what's up with the leak.
Yeah, we definitely figure out where it's leaking.
Yeah, it's always fine.
That one's got a lot of gray on it.
Yeah. Alright, let's try to drain this thing out. Give it some gas.
A lot of water in the engine.
Yeah, I got it out though. We gotta pull it out of the water further. See the leak. Look how that muffler is like coming apart.
What?
See, look at that muffler, how it's like. Rocks.
Lots of rocks.
Right? See how that's like blowing apart?
Yeah.
That's the leak right there.
Yep.
Alright,
I don't know if we're fixing that today.
well, I could just straight pipe it, or oh, at least two of them working.
At least I know the Yamaha's good.
Yeah. All right, so we drained it out, rode it back. Yeah, it's definitely that muffler definitely split.
That scared the living crap out of me.
What?
You just pushed the entire dog.
Oh, oh, it's not gonna push that big column. All right, so here's our culprit here, this muffler. Now, for those who don't understand why a problem with the muffler would make something fill up with water, the cooling water actually goes through the exhaust system on Waverunners, and if there's any holes in the exhaust, it leaks water and makes the thing sink. Okay, so for some reason this muffler split on the seams. You can see that's not supposed to leak. Why did this come apart? Well, that'll do it. Alright, so that's what's inside a muffler on a Waverunner 3. So, do I need a whole muffler or just this piece? It's just that. A little research here. Alright, so I'm looking, this isn't like a gasket that's available. This whole box is just together permanently. Now, I could buy a used one of these, but I wonder if I could just glue this or something. Alright, so this stuff usually works pretty good. Alright, so while the epoxy was hardening up on this muffler, or water box, I was just working on the tail lights on this thing. So these side lights were missing, and it had tail lights, but one of them wasn't working, and the 3 center lights weren't there. Since this thing's over 80 inches wide, it needs those. Alright, so all the lights are done. Let's get this muffler installed. All right, that's all together. That's probably fixed. Let's go try it out. All right, so these two are ready to be tried again. So before I take them out, let me just talk about them for a minute quick. So I've actually had this one out a bunch of times now, probably half dozen, and I didn't even think I was going to like this thing because of how big it was, but this one's kind of turning into my favorite one. I also fixed those two. They didn't need that much work, so it wasn't worth filming. It was just like a ton of little things wrong with them, but these two are working perfect as well. And I'm confident this one's fixed, so I'm not just going to bring it out and ride it for 5 minutes and say, oh, it's fixed. I'm going to go far on these two to actually demonstrate that they're working well. You know, I want to go like at least like 100+ miles. You know, being that we're in the Hudson River here, it kind of goes forever. Plus, it's attached to the ocean, so really there's no limit to how far you could go. So reviewing all these quick, the things that really stand out about this one that I like. This one, you stay dry on this thing. For whatever reason, those other three, they kind of throw water at you depending on the conditions. This one, it just doesn't do that. It's just, you can go out and ride this thing if it's kind of choppy out, windy, not that warm, and still have a good time on the thing because you're not getting soaking wet. The other thing that's awesome about it, it's really comfortable. It can carry 2 people. It can carry my dog. It's got this, which is awesome, this little storage box. I was looking for that. For having your phone, for example, that Waverunners down there doesn't have that. You got to stand up and take the seat off, which is kind of frustrating. Even these Waverunner 3s, at least they have storage, but you still have to stand up and it's harder to get to. Plus, this one has a huge storage compartment here. It's got this big storage compartment here. I'm definitely glad I fixed this one, and this thing was kind of a gamble because I did spend like $500 on that replacement motor, but it's nice. Sometimes you fix something like that, bring it out, find more problems, fix it, find more problems. It hasn't been like that. It was put it in the water and the thing just worked, and it works perfectly. Kind of same with these two. Now I want this Waverunners here. This thing is a rocket. This thing is so fast. none of these are underpowered by any means, but this thing here, it's like, this is one, you know, when you're out in the water, this is one of the fastest ones out there. Let me talk about some of the other ones. So I just picked up this one here too. It was online, 25 bucks. Well, the guy wanted 50 bucks. I'm like, 25 tomorrow. He's like, all right. So I got that one too. It's all apart, the motor, but these are easy to fix. This one's running good. And these 3 were all running good last year too. Now this one here, my friend with that red one that blew up, he was trying to buy this off of me, but then we look on Marketplace and find 2 more of these identical on a nice aluminum trailer. A guy wanted like 1,800 bucks, and we went there, and 1,400 bucks he paid for 2 of them. Now they had been sitting over 10 years, so it was a little rough getting them going, but he fixed them both. All right, but that's the thing with buying these things. You got to be ready to get the deals. I mean, there was another one. It was 2 of these big 3-seaters, but they must have been newer. They look just like this, but one was a 750 and the other one was an 800, and the guy wanted like 400 bucks for the pair. They didn't run, but I should have jumped on it. Let's take these things out tomorrow, go for a test drive. That's fixed. Let's take it out. that working all right for you?
Yeah.
Great.
We're the Waverunner crew. We're the cool kids. I like that. Katie's got the good one. Yes.
You got the Wave Raider. That's the fast one.
Scares me sometimes.